Welcome back to the Chris Salcedo Show. This Friday, I'm Bianca De La Garza in for Chris. Great to have you with us. California Governor Gavin Newsom is getting called out for backtracking, a claim his son was a big fan of Charlie Kirk. Listen here. This is what Newsom said back in March.
Trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no, this morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn.
Yeah, he said that right there when he's sitting with Charlie. Now listen to Governor Newsom just a few days ago.
What was the conversation like between you and your son after Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
Well, he called me. I don't know how he got a phone, but he called me from school that day, really alarmed. And all his friends were around the phone that wanted me to somehow express or understand what was going on. He wanted to know if he was dead. He wasn't a fan of him as much as he was familiar with him.
Oh. All right, let's get reaction now and bring in our next guest, Republican strategist and former Trump 2020 press communications director, Erin Maguire. Erin, welcome and good to see you.
Hey, Bianca, happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. This is Gavin Newsom's, though, playbook. He's so slimy, he's so shifty. He talks to Charlie one way and then pivots here. It's really kind of grotesque, in my opinion. I mean, how much fallout, though, will he get in a state like California, where obviously the uniparty continues to fail up?
Yeah, the political calculus for him isn't based in California for this. It's based more nationally. And you've seen this from Gavin Newsom time and again, not only about Charlie Kirk, but about this podcast of his where he thought he could be some moderate, somebody who could bring people together and have conversations. But he is a tried and true progressive liberal Democrat, and that has not changed. He sat there and lied to Charlie Kirk's face and then lied to CNN's face as well about the reality that his son is reflective of a lot of young men in this country who saw themselves in Charlie Kirk. And whether or not Gavin Newsom is a Democrat or a Republican, that's something that he shouldn't have to be ashamed of. But because he is only about politics, only about himself, for him, the calculus is, well, I can't say that my son actually likes Charlie Kirk. That's
right.
What a Republican would think. He just doesn't rationally understand that he alienates the American people when he decides time and again to play politics instead of just being honest. But that's what you get with good old Gavin.
Right. And you have the tape to prove it. Erin, let's talk about this new poll. It shows Newsom and Congresswoman AOC would have the best chance if there was a race against Vice President J.D. Vance in 2028 in the presidential race. I don't even think either one of them would want to team up together because they're both so narcissistic and egocentric. But what do you think about that being a ticket that maybe some other Democrats might try to put together here?
I think you're correct. I think neither of them would want to be the other's vice president. I think AOC and Gavin Newsom would both starve each other of the oxygen to be at the top of the ticket before they'd let the other person have it. And this poll's just a fanciful dream. Nobody has litigated a national case against Gavin Newsom and his disastrous policies in California. You can just look at the Pacific Palisades fire as one example of his absolute inept failure. You can look at AOC, who's done absolutely nothing. And you can compare that to J.D. Vance, who not only served in the Marine Corps, who not only brought himself up and made himself very successful, but then became a U.S. Senator and the Vice President of the United States. That's a conversation I'm sure voters would be happy to litigate all day going into 2026.
That's right. And the Republicans have such a deep bench. And you're right. His story is an American dream, married to beautiful Usha Vance as well. And, you know, they once loved him. Hillbilly Elegy. We all remember that very well. Erin Maguire, such a pleasure to have you. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.